went from their first meeting to their first kiss to deciding to spend their lives together. This is the love story of Katie and Carson. And everyone in attendance said, "Aww." Very nice.
When I met Carson, I was freshly...
It all started back in 2021, April 21st to be exact. Katie was a student at Castleton University, while Carson was working at becoming a world-class baseball player. It was a Saturday night that would change both of their lives forever. I believe Katie was
Carson. I was freshly 21, and one night I was at a house party, and so one of our mutual friends, he walked in and I ran over and he was like, "This is my friend Carson."
Yeah, and I was like, here we go. And then I just shook her hand and introduced myself, but at that moment I felt like everything stopped.
It was like the whole room froze.
Yeah.
It was his eyes that really like locked me in.
That's it. Mine was just fun. It was very sweet. That was a big key for me.
What can I say? Have a nice smile.
Talk about a perfect beginning to an amazing couple. Now this is a time when people didn't exchange phone numbers, but rather added each other to Snapchat for communicating. Now Carson was too nervous to even bring the app up on his phone, so Catherine took the initiative.
He didn't talk at all. I mean, he would say like 2 words, and that was it. So then finally I was like, "Give me your phone and I'll give you my Snapchat so we can talk." He gave me his phone, I put my Snapchat in, and I like added us to each other. So I texted him and I was like, "I think you're really cute." All I got back was a thanks. "Oh, you're cute too," or "I think you're really pretty." It was thanks with a period. So I was like, I give up.
Okay, so maybe the sparks didn't exactly fly, or maybe Carson's just a little shy. Either way, he must have done something right, because Lauren probably remembers Katie telling her,
I told her when I met him, "I'm going to marry this boy."
so based on that prediction, Katie, we need to talk a little bit later about lottery numbers for DJ Tab. Now after this chance encounter, Carson and Katie did actually agree to get together soon after. Of course, that didn't work out exactly as planned, but again, there must have been something there.
I knew he wasn't going to kiss me first. I was like, well, if I don't kiss him, I don't think we'll ever kiss. So it was the night that Carson was supposed to come over, and he ended up hanging out with his friends.
Yeah.
And he helped me get home from the bar. Like, he waited out on the front porch and let me in. And
You just kissed him.
I really did. I just like kind of just went for it, and I was like, oh, if he turns me down, it's okay.
Now keep in mind that during this time, Carson was on the road a lot playing ball, and Katie was busy with school. Our favorite couple made sure to keep in touch though by Snapchat and by phone, and when they had their official first date, no expense was spared.
I took it to Roxy's.
Yes, Roxy's fries. He's such a picky dude that like chicken tenders and fries is like how you win his heart over.
Yeah, we
So
shared chicken tenders and fries, and
we sat in the dining room at our house in
more
Castleton.
menu over there. That was our first like official date. As you can see again, not really the romantic.
And our second date was mini golfing, and I do want to inform everyone that I did beat him, and I still continue to beat him at mini golf. Thank you very much.
I'm sorry to go over that.
Yep, sorry loser. Now in order to move a love story forward, it kind of requires the saying of 3 little words. Of course, sometimes those words slip out accidentally.
The first "I love you" Carson said it first, and it came out by accident.
Yeah, it did. I FaceTimed Katie, and we were talking about our plans, and I was like, all right, I gotta go shower. She was like, okay, and I was like, all right, I love you, bye. I stopped, my face was like, oh, shoot. And she just looked at me and she goes, all right, I'll see you in a little bit. And I was like, son of a gun.
I was just shocked. He called me back and he was like, I'm so sorry. I think I said it on FaceTime that night.
No, I remember what it was. It was, I think I did.
I knew I did. I was just nervous because I was like, this is so early.
I definitely remember showing up on your doorstep and she just broke down and was like, I do love you.
first date, a first kiss, and a first I love you, the next logical step is a discussion of exclusivity. Now, some couples talk about it for days or weeks. They look at the pros, the cons, weighing all their options. Other couples, not so much.
This story makes me laugh every time.
And you can tell if you want to, because you remember it better than I do.
I was sober.
I was not.
So that day, Carson was very adamant on me meeting his brother.
At that point in time, I was like throwing her into the ringer.
And we went, and I met like everyone in one sitting.
At that point, I started having a couple of adult beverages.
Everyone was drinking, but like Carson was the most intoxicated. It got like later in the night,
My dad came.
and I was like, oh my god, am I just gonna meet his entire family in one sitting? Like everyone's coming. So I was sitting at the picnic table by myself because I didn't know anybody, and Carson comes and sits down. And he looks at me, and I look at him, and he goes, everyone here is calling you my girlfriend, so do you want to be my girlfriend?
That's accurate.
I just looked at him, and I was like, I'm gonna see if you remember this question in the morning. So then the next morning I looked at him, and I was like, do you remember what you asked me last night? And he was like, yeah, I do.
So like, I'm still waiting on an answer.
And I think I was just kind of like, yeah, sure. And then we went to Dunkin' Donuts.
And that is the response a guy gets when he doesn't tell a woman that she's pretty too on Snapchat. Well, as time passed and Carson enrolled at Castleton as well, he and Kate got to know one another better and discovered the things that they loved to do together.
I'm beating Carson at mini golf.
Let's relax. Not gonna happen anymore. For me, my favorite thing to do is either our long car rides where we just chit chat or just laugh. We always are cracking jokes.
Yeah, we go on quite a bit of adventures together.
Yeah, we do. Yeah.
We don't really have a set schedule.
Never.
Or a routine. Our life changes so quickly. So I've just learned with him to go with the flow, as Nani says.
Yeah.
And beating him at mini golf. Thank you.
And they also discovered what they loved most about each other.
Her ability to be there whenever you need her, that's probably her best attribute.
His heart is really just the most important thing. Because when he loves, and he just makes my world complete.
Whatever I'm doing, makes me laugh.
Oh, I got a funny laugh?
Yeah.
There's nothing I don't love about him.
Yeah, you can do that awe thing. Now, at some point in the best of both stories, the question of marriage comes up. Sometimes the guy tests the water by asking bait questions, or maybe...
I got drunk at a bar, and when Carson was driving me home, I kept saying, I want to marry you.
Yeah. You definitely brought it up first.
That's my embarrassing moment of our relationship.
Now, once a person pretty much knows that they're going to get a yes, the challenge becomes coming up with a way to propose that rivals all of the best Facebook and TikTok videos. And sometimes that isn't so easy.
Well, here's my thought. Because she always told me her dream was to get engaged at Disney.
And he kept asking me, well, what do you think of the Tree of Life? And mind you, that's in Animal Kingdom, and I have not gone yet. So I was like, if you're planning on proposing at the Tree of Life at Animal Kingdom, try again. And then he was like, well, maybe we should go back to Magic Kingdom. Like, I think we should go back and look at Cinderella's castle. And I'm like, Carson, if you're planning on proposing to me in front of Cinderella's castle, please try again.
Sorry, bud. As a gentleman's gentleman and having been raised right, Carson knew that before he could ask Katie to be his bride, there was another answer that he needed to get. One that he wasn't so sure of.
So I was like, hey Katie, I gotta get your dad's phone number. I gotta ask him a question about. I got the phone number, and it took me a little bit as I was scared to do it, but I called him. We had like a half-hour conversation, and yeah, by the end of it, he was like, yeah, you're good. Like, go ahead. And then he said, all right, you have to call my brother. So I called Katie's uncle, and then the next morning I was like, all right, I gotta get the blessing of Katie's mom. So I called her mom, and I asked her. She gave me a blessing, and
Okay, so here we are. We've listed as our favorite couple met, got to know one another, and fell in love. The only thing left is to hear what happened to bring us all here today.
that day, I just remember looking at Kate and I was like, hey, you want to go up to Lake George? And we can go out to dinner after. So I made a reservation at O'Brien Inn.
Two completely different areas. Like, let's drive all the way up to Lake George and then drive all the way down past Greenwich into Saratoga.
Yeah, and I told her we were just gonna go up, we were gonna park, we were gonna go for a walk before it starts raining. And so she puts on like shorts and a t-shirt. And I was like,
He goes, why don't you put on something nicer?
and so I hid the ring behind the driver's seat in the pocket. So we were driving up, and I like threw my wallet out of my pocket, something stupid.
You left up the part of the gas station and you were like, I dropped my wallet. And I'm like, here, let me lean back and grab it. No!
Oh yeah. We're driving up to this place, and I was like, it's about to rain really hard. So it's not the top of the mountain. There's an empty parking lot right there. So I swing it in, and she's looking at me, and I go, pump it out. I was like, oh, that didn't come off very nicely.
I was so annoyed. I was like, you told me we're going on a hike, but then you had me change my entire outfit. We're sitting in the parking lot, and I have no idea where I'm going, but you're kicking me out of the car.
And then I was like, wait, Katie, I gotta grab my wallet, and threw the ring in my pocket. We get like 5 steps, and I was like, I can't take this anymore. I'm just doing it. And I said some words.
And he was so nervous, he was shaking so bad.
Yeah, so
He says his romantic speech that I love you so much, I can't picture my life without you, yada yada, and he kneels down and he opens the box. And like, I just kind of was staring at the ring because I was like, this is gorgeous. Holy crap. Like, I was standing there in shock and I didn't say anything. And he's down on one knee with the box in his hand and he goes, will you marry me? I didn't answer because I'm staring at the diamond. I'm like in shock. And he goes, please. And then I was like, oh my gosh, yes, of course, absolutely, yes.
And there you have it, folks, the adventurous love story of Katie and Carson Mosher. Thank you, guys.